Home is Vancouver Island?
Vancouver Island, yeah.
Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is you love it there.
I love it. It's great, man. It's like unlike anywhere else. I've taken my Harley all across North America. There's no place like Vancouver Island.
What do you love about it?
Dude, I don't know.
Is that where family is?
That's where my family is, yeah, for the most part. I got a lot of family there for sure. That's where I grew up since I was a kid. So mom and dad are there. A lot of my siblings are there. I don't know what it is about it, but just the fact that, like, everywhere I go, like, you're 15 minutes from anything beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, you hop in your car and you want to go see something incredible. You just, like, man, I live on 5 acres off Bain Road in Port Alberni, which is a small little town.
Okay.
And I can drive, like, not even 7 minutes, and I'm at this, like, beautiful waterfall, and there's bears walking across this river, and, like, just the most gorgeous things ever.
Okay, so it's super dangerous.
Not even, dude.
So
They're
the
just
bears
little
are gonna
black
get you.
bears. They're just like your little best friends. They like to eat garbage and hang out. They're not bad.
You ever get bored?
I know.
I mean, not now. I know. Yeah.
I keep myself busy.
Yeah.
But not really. No. Like, I mean,
It
like
sounds because it sounds. I've been there. I've spent quite a bit of time, like all across Canada and North America as well, and it is beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, man. Like eagles and whatever else, and it's great, man. It's good stuff.
Inspirational.
Sure. It's inspirational for sure. I mean, I don't know what it is. I'll always have a place on Vancouver Island. The only other place I'd probably live is Tennessee, I think.
Yeah.
I love it there. And I love the Americans. So it's fun hanging out. They got the best
Well, there's
food.
a good vibe in Nashville for sure. There's a great vibe down there. So you've gotten to know it, yeah?
The state, you know what I mean? Like, if you go an hour out of Nashville, it's like beautiful farmland and whatever else. Then if you want to go to the city, you go to the city, and it's like, amazing food.
It's an amazing discovery, isn't it? What kind of, we'll just get into the kind of music that you grew up listening to, but when I started going down to Nashville, it was about maybe like 20 years ago or something. And you have an idea, a bit of a caricature-ish version of what you think the southern U.S. is like. And it's an hour and 45-minute flight. It's really close from here in Toronto. Not that far. But it is, culturally, it's obviously different. Historically, it's very different. But when I went down there and discovered, like, the warmth, and I'm not just talking about the climate. I mean, the warmth of the people.
Oh, man.
It's an amazing little discovery. Everybody thinks about it. I mean, it's gotten bigger now. Everybody thinks about Hollywood and New York and everything like that, but Nashville's where it's at.
Oh, man. Well, dude, my favorite thing in the world, and every waitress over 50 comes to your table and she goes, "Hey, baby, what can I get you?" And I gotta say, it's my favorite thing in the world. I would move there just for that. They're the sweetest people ever. "What can I get you, baby?" And every waitress over 50 calls me baby. It's like, I love it. It's my favorite thing ever.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's so wonderful.
And they probably don't mind that you call them waitress.
No.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Instead of server. I'm not, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm not,
No, it's lovely.
It's lovely. It's
absolutely
the best thing
lovely. Yeah, that hospitality is no joke.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. Like, honestly, that's Southern hospitality. It's hard to beat, man.
It is. I think I find it maybe slightly true in the world of country music as well. There is a genuine warmth and kind of appreciation for the people who are in it. I mean, I'm sure there's some competition underneath that you've maybe even seen in your time in the game already. But in general, it kind of seems like different from other genres, more of a family, and like the industry down there seems like more of a family.
You know what,
and
man?
even from the media side, it's always been like, you guys are in the radio thing, we do the music thing, we work together. It's not an us versus them thing. You know what I'm talking about?
My perception of the whole industry is like, I think Jelly Roll and like Post Malone, they've kind of paved this kind of lane for, just be a good person. You know what I mean? Just be kind, right? And like, honestly, it's seldom I see someone that's just trying to like push other people down. Everybody's just trying to see each other do well. I mean, we're all just kids trying to write songs. Like, that's it, man. It's like, we're just kids trying our best. And
tell that to Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was some beef there, right? Yeah.
Hey, another BC boy, Tyler Joe Miller. He once said to me in Nashville, and it's probably true everywhere, but particularly when people are getting down to business in Music City and trying to write, If you can really sing, they love you. If you can really write, they love you. But if you're a good hang, they really love you. Like that part of it. You know, you got to bring a little bit of something to the room.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know, what you get, what you put in, you're gonna get back.
Yeah.
You know, so if you just walk around being a jerk, like nothing's gonna happen for you. You know, maybe. You know, but it's just, I don't know, just. What you put in, you get back.
Okay.
Just be a good person.
If you don't mind, forgive me because it's the first time we're chatting, so I just like get to know you a little bit. What kind of music was on in the house in Vancouver Island?
Man.
Do you say on Vancouver Island?
Vancouver
right? On the island.
Island,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Growing up, mom kind of listened to everything. Never country, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I never got into country till I discovered Johnny Cash when I was 17, and then ever since then I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's special, man. And but before that, there was a point in time where I strictly grew up listening to West Coast Canadian rap music. You know,
That's very
Killers
niche.
And,
Yeah.
Mercury.
Anything east of Saskatchewan, forget it.
No. It's just I don't know what it was, and then I grew up like I've probably listened to, you know, Marshall Mathers LP1, LP2, Slim Shady LP like over and over since I was, you know, a little kid. I was really into rap music. That's pretty much all I listened to. But I mean I loved a lot of cool stuff too. I mean, like classic rock, Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. I was big into that, but I never really got introduced to country at all until I was like 17. That's when I found out about Johnny Cash, and then it was like Tyler Childers. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that's special. And that's about the time when I started singing too. You know,
Who introduced you to? Who do we have to thank /
my
blame?
older brother.
Your older
Sheldon.
brother.
Yeah, my older brother Sheldon. Yeah. We were in the car. He's like, man, I can't believe. He smacked me on the shoulder. He's like, I can't believe you never heard of this. Like, why aren't you listening to this stuff? I'm like, I don't know, man. I've been listening to Snack the Ripper for 10 years. I don't know. This isn't really my niche, but I love it, man. It's great.
That's cool. He did that thing like of wanting to break you out and kind of like educate you a little bit. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, man,
So I have
come on,
him to
stop
thank for my
listening
whole
to
career, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then it was just like Pandora's box. You opened it up and you're like, I want to
I was
disappear
like,
in here for a while.
This is wonderful. Yeah. But I mean, I think like part of the reason I write the way I write is because I didn't grow up on country music. I see a lot of artists and they're kind of like, oh man, this guy's working and I like this guy's music, so they start writing just like that guy. But for me, I mean, I grew up on strictly rap music, so it was like, I kind of approach it differently, I think, anyway. But
there's probably actually some science to that as well, right? There's like going to be a different meter in your brain that's kind of clicking along to something. The different ways that you can phrase things, lyrics,
Yeah.
like chord, verse, chorus, pre-chorus, whatever. That stuff might be a little bit different if you bring some hip hop or rap sensibilities to what it is you're doing.
Well, I think it's just like, I don't know. I've taken huge inspiration from like one of my favorite artists, Kurt Cobain, and like just the way that he can just say something, and not everybody knows what it means all the time. And I think there's something special about that because it leaves a lot of room for interpretation. I feel like a lot of artists are just like say exactly what they mean, and if it doesn't make sense to the listener, then they shouldn't write it at all. And I'm like, man, it makes sense to me. Like it means something to me, so I'm gonna write it and I'm gonna say it, and I'm not gonna be precious about it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. That's kind of how I've approached it. I want people to kind of take what they need to take from my music, and I'm just grateful that, people are taking what they need to from my tunes, right?
You hit on a lot of things there. I think it's a good way to go. It's pretty smart. A lot of the bands that I loved when I was growing up, the Smiths, one of my favorite bands of all time. I had no idea what Morrissey was singing about. I had no idea when I discovered him when I was 14 years old. I had no idea what they were singing about. Radiohead, half the time, I don't think the rest of the guys in Radiohead know what Tom York's singing about. There's a poetry to it, though. The words are really important. The positioning of the words, the choice of the words that you pick, that you're choosing, really, really important. And you allow people to interpret it. That is a different style.
Oh,
It's a different style. There's literal songs and story songs, and there's definitely a place, and they're incredibly important in the history of country music. But allowing people to say, hey, I'm going to write this song. This is what it meant to me. And it can mean whatever you want to you. I mean,
Totally.
I knew nothing. I didn't know. Morrissey was singing about asexuality and loneliness and all of aching for trying to figure out who he was. I wasn't going through any of those things, yet I still connected with the music.
100%, man. It's the same, like, you know, I feel like a lot of people are, like, scared to sing about things, too. A lot of the time they feel like, you know, maybe it's not their place to talk about certain subjects and whatever else. And, you know, it's like Sublime, Wrong Way. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty gnarly, the topics in that song is, like, pretty intense, you know, but like, you know, it makes you think. Like that's why I fell so in love with songwriting. And like, I remember hearing "As the World Turns" by Eminem when I was like probably 12 years old, and there's some terrible things that he says in that song, and he paints this picture. But it was like I almost kind of fell in love with this sick feeling that it gave me. You know what I mean? Because I knew what he was singing was like, it was like a wrong thing, but it's like real. You know, he paints it so real that it's just like, you know, there's two ways, because songs can make you, you know, have this wonderful feeling, like it's like, oh, awesome, you know, but then it can also make you feel like really bad. But sometimes you want to feel bad, you know. It's like when you feel real sad, you know, and you almost listen to sad music to kind of amplify that, because, you know, it's comforting, you know. But there's it's, you know, I've fallen in love with that feeling, and sometimes I try to just chase that just a little bit, you know.
If you can make people feel, imagine like when he wrote that song, when Marshall wrote that song, and there he is, like all these years and miles separated from him in the moment that he created that song, and then there's you listening to it as a kid, and it's making you feel that's what power in that.
Oh man, it's like it's
that's art, man. That's the art.
I know, man. I fell in love with this. I never thought I'd do music for a living, honestly, bro.
What did you think you were going to do?
Man, I was going to dig holes the rest of my life. I was going to work on a pipeline. That's what I was doing before, you know. I was going to either cut down trees for a living or work on a pipeline. And then, I don't know,
So
man.
you're an environmentalist.
That's right. I was like, I was just killing the planet one tree at a time.
Oh, man. We need it. We need all that stuff.
I know.
We need lumber, we need oil.
That's what was that. Yeah, man, like that's what was there. That's what was there for me, you know. I never, like, I played drums when I was a kid, and, you know, I've
seen
music.
you, by the way, on Instagram playing drums. You rip, dude.
Oh, man, I rip. Yeah, I'm like Tommy Lee, just not good at drums.
No, you're good.
No, man, I'm a bit rusty, but I want to practice. I want to play more live. It's really fun.
Dude, if you can go back, I don't know if you saw who was it who came out and played the halftime show at the Super Bowl?
Spit it out. Come on.
Beat me that ice cold, that ice. Huh? Bruno Mars, thank you.
Bruno Mars, love him.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Played Super Bowl halftime show one year. You should check it out.
All right.
He starts his performance by himself on a drum kit. That's how the whole stadium goes, and then it's just, and he's sick. He rips. You should, if you can, you know, there's moments when Morgan Wallen sits behind a piano and he plays, because he started playing, he took classical piano lessons when he was like 11. And he's still getting, he's incorporated that into his songwriting now and into his live show. If you can at some point, like, just kick your drummer out for a second and go and actually play, people lose their minds.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, have you done that?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, we're down the road.
I gotta teach my drummer how to sing, and then he can go take my spot for just one song.
That's great.
You know?
No, well, Bruno, he can play
one song I don't want to do too. You know?
Yeah. That would be a pretty good flex.
You know what? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Who else does that? Kid Rock? He'll jump and play every instrument on stage.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You mentioned Nirvana. Nate Smith released a cover of A Heart-Shaped Box.
Oh,
Nirvana is like his favorite band growing up. So you're not
amazing.
The things that you're talking about, like being really influenced by hip hop growing up and loving Nirvana and that stuff. It's not as crazy a thing for a guy who's in the country world now to actually say. You know,
I think people just really love music, and I mean, country is such a broad term. It's so funny because like the real country people would say you're not country at all, and then non-country people would be like, you're country, you know, because it's such a broad thing now. You know, I mean, like, what is Zach Bryan? You know, like what is anything? You know, what's Noah Khan? Right? Like it's. I think.
Well, I mean, a lot of people would say
music.
pop, and then the definition of pop it's just an abbreviation of the word popular.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally. Yeah. I had no idea. That's something new for me right there. That's hilarious. Do you guys know that? Nobody
your-
told me that? Pop was short for popular? Are you kidding
That's
me?
where it
that
came
makes
from.
sense.
That's
I
where
got
it came
a perm
from.
the other day. I just found out that was short for permanent.
Yeah.
Are you
yeah, you're
kidding
like,
me?
You're like, I can't blow dry this out. Nope, it's permanent.
Oh my God. Is there more of those? What's country short for?
We got to get you off Vancouver Island, brother.
Oh my God, man. I thought I was a pretty
Welcome
learned
to the
young
mainland,
man.
son.
That's insane. Oh my Lord. There's more of those. There has to be.
Oh my God! Now, this is a little inside joke for you. The next time you're not available for Will Phillips Kill This, I'm bringing this man in.
Yeah.
This little game show we play with our resident millennial expert right there.
Oh my Lord.
That's so good. Yeah. That's good stuff, man. I watched your Idol audition. I hope you don't mind that
Yeah,
I did.
no, go.
It's spectacular.
You think so?
I think it was spectacular. Yeah, your voice
Oh,
was
my
sick.
Lord.
Your voice was sick. You even had a little bit of the that crackle.
Yeah.
That intentional. I
like how you did it. Can you do that one more
I
time?
cannot do it again. No.
Yeah.
But you had that in there. I think that I love that. I love the fact that it was very obviously the first time that Katy Perry had ever heard Waylon Jennings. Very obvious. I think Luke was like, I think that's Waylon Jennings.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that you came in there doing what you did, looking the way, just like this
Man,
young.
I was so nervous.
I
was so nervous.
And that's why you did the backflip, because you were nervous, right?
Yeah, well,
Let's
I
just
wanted
do
to
it.
stand out as well. I'm like, okay, well, I might not be able to sing, but I better do something crazy.
I got
you
one
know?
shot at this. I
Got
may
one
as well
shot.
stand out, and boy, did you.
Yeah, you know what? I tried my best. I remember, my whole career, I've just tried my best. I've just done the best I can,
Yeah.
and good things have started happening. Before American Idol, it was like I got discovered by a casting agent because I was singing karaoke on my couch, and he found me on Reddit, believe it or not, and then asked me to come do the show. I remember at that point I was smoking a pack a day. I was like, all right, okay, I'm not gonna smoke anymore. I got 2 months to prepare for this. I'm not smoking. I'm gonna sing all I can, and then I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna do my best. And then I made it. I made it through the first round. I remember from that moment forward, I was like, whatever I can do to not dig holes the rest of my life, I'm gonna do.
Okay, you were sitting on your couch singing karaoke, and putting it up on
Reddit.
Reddit.
Yeah.
Because I guess that it's such a crazy thing. Because it used to be like if you had a skill and you had a talent, you had to leave the house to go and get discovered. And now because of the goddamn internet,
I can do it all
you could
from
be
home.
a burnout on your couch, sitting there
Wonderful.
shooting, and then you get discovered.
Yeah,
this
there
is
you
going to
go.
be, it's making it hard for parents everywhere to
Yeah.
say, you got to get out there and sing in front of, no, I don't.
No.
No, I don't.
You can do
Look at
everything from
Cameron.
home.
Cameron's doing. He did it from home.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I did a lot of it from home, but a lot of it was I was still adulting. I was living on my own and whatever, so I still had to go to work. I remember I got that golden ticket, and then I went right back to the pipeline 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and I was taking singing lessons after work to get ready for Hollywood Week, And then after Hollywood Week, I was like, I quit my job.
Yeah.
That was it. I saved not very much money, but I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Hollywood Week, and then I did the live rounds, and then I got kicked off the second live round. I was like, no. I honestly thought I thought I was famous. I was like, I did American Idol. I'm famous now. This is it. I'm a superstar.
Yeah.
And I was sorely mistaken.
Top 20, though, yeah?
Top 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt really good about it. I mean, at the time.
That's awesome.
It was great, man. But
think of all the thousands of people that have gone through there and never got a sniff of any sort of success.
Yeah. True, but I mean, everything else came after the show, to tell you the truth. I got sent home, and it was like, I didn't know how to play guitar. I didn't know how to write songs. I had no connection to anybody musically, on Vancouver Island. I had no money to go out to LA and pursue this. I'm a Canadian, so I can't work out there, any of that stuff. So I was like, I messed around, did little shows around BC for the first summer, ran out of money, thought I failed, went back to the pipeline, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, but I just kept in mind, I was like, you know what? I'm going to post every day. I'm going to write songs. I'm going to learn how to play guitar. And by the time the second summer came, I quit my job and then just kept going. Just I bought a Harley and I rode from, Vancouver to Los Angeles to West Virginia back to Sacramento, everywhere in between. And, and just I had a welder custom weld me a rack for the back of my Harley where I put my guitar on the back of it, slept beside my Harley, and ran out of money again in West Virginia, so I had to make it home.
Sleeping overnight in like a parking lot somewhere beside your bike.
Underneath the motorcycle, yeah, dude, just like living the dream. It was so good. It was so good. But I mean, you know, I was just like, whatever I can do to not dig holes. I'm not digging holes anymore. I'm a musician. I'm gonna play music. You know, this is what I'm gonna do.
How hard was it to go back to that job?
It was the worst. I thought I'd fail. I called my dad crying. I was like, this is it for me, bud. Like, I know we gave her a good shot, but that was it. No, I'm done now. And, you know, he was like, this isn't it, man. You're going to take the winner. You're going to just keep working, and then, you know.
Let's go,
like,
Dad.
You're going to, oh, yeah, man. That guy, you know what? He's a huge reason why I'm anything. You know, him and my mom. I grew up with this full belief that there's no such thing as can't, you know? There's no such thing as can't. Like, everybody will give you every reason not to do something. But, if you really, I mean, and everybody says this, you know, but if you really put your eye on something, man, like, you can make it happen. Like, there's no such thing as can't. Like, there's, like, really, honestly, man, like, you know, I never...
Are you telling me I can do a backflip?
I bet you right now, if you strip down naked... you could do a backflip, 100%. It's just what's getting in the way is like of the aerodynamics is that big wool coat and the khaki pants. That's what's getting in the way.
I'm not wearing either of those
off.
things.
No,
I'm not wearing either of that.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, joggers. I don't know. Whatever. Never mind. You can do a backflip.
I got you. I got to work on the backflip, man. That's inspirational stuff, man. And if we can talk about Quitter for a second, it's a dangerous thing sometimes to look at comments online, right? To look at comments or whatever, and people are going to have their opinions. You're going to have to deal with some of them because you put yourself out there with your music, and especially in the world of country, if you have other influences from other genres, the purists are going to be like, "What's up?" Anyway, Quitter, you talk about getting sober. And there's a lot of people on there. I mean, the song also, by the way, congratulations on being able to create. It's a really, really tough thing to do. A song with a message that doesn't hit you over the head with a message and is still super catchy and you can sing along to. It's a really, really tough thing to do, man. It's tough to like get that Venn diagram of those things, kind of that perfect storm of you know, message, hook, bridge, all of that stuff coming together. Love that. And I don't know, intention or not, I don't know. You can tell me. But just the comments. When I look at the video for that song and everything underneath is like, love this, working on it again, third time coming out of rehab, all of this stuff.
It's incredible. Even the live shows, man, people show up and they're like, hey, man, I got 6 months clean. I got 2 years clean or 5 years clean. Man, I always give them a hug because I'm so, that stuff makes me so happy. Like, it makes me emotional, actually, because I'm so honored that people can come to my shows and feel like they're, you know, it's incredible. There's nothing like it. And honestly, man, I've never had any luck writing about things that don't absolutely mean something to me. You know, every single line in that song is me, you know, and I didn't write it for anyone else. I wrote it for me, you know. I'm just grateful that people can hear it. And I say this to new writers all the time. I'm like, man, skip everything else. Don't write for what you think people want to hear. Write from you, and you know, we're all just human beings. We're all going through the same thing, you know. So people are gonna hear that and they're gonna believe you. If it's coming from you, you're not telling a lie. You're not making a fabricated story. This is you, you know. Just put that down, and people are going to resonate with that, you know.
It's so smart. If you've got a great voice, of course you can sing that beautiful song written by those three geniuses in Nashville. And you may, throughout your career, nothing wrong with that. But if I want to get to know you, I want to hear something that's coming from you, something that you wrote.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're wasting your time if you're just fabricating a story. Like, just say something that means something to you, man. And people are, you know, it's just, you know, my favorite songs in the world are, you know, things that really mean something to me, or you know, meant something to that person. And then, you know, now I hear it, I'm like, I believe you. I believe the story you're telling, and I appreciate you telling that story, you know, and I learned a big part of that was learning that in recovery, you know, this being vulnerable. It's hard to be vulnerable. Like, it's hard to, like, say exactly how you feel and tell these stories and maybe share parts of yourself that aren't perfect. I mean, man, there was a point in time in my life where I was just a bad person, like, honestly a bad person, you know, but coming to that self-awareness and understanding that and just trying to do better than you did yesterday, that's all it is. Like, that's all my songs are, you know, like understanding these flaws that I have and I still have, you know, that I'm just working on and just trying to do better than I did yesterday. That's all it is, man. Like, to tell you the truth, I've no luck writing songs about things that don't absolutely mean something to me, right?
Stay on that path, man. You're on a good one. That's killer. Yeah, you're a good hang.
Oh, you're a good hang.
You're a good hang.
Yeah, this is great.
Fucking awesome.
I can hang out here all day.
Yeah.